Becoming a full time content creator and building a business relates to expressions, relates to speaking in any kind, isn't easy. I was a quiet kid growing up. I was the quietest in the room. I grew up with the mindset that nothing I said would make any difference. A lot of the time, I I am like right now, I am a more communicative. I always communicative. I always communicate, you know. I never left things cold. If I want to fix it, I'll communicate. I'll talk to you. But back in the day, I wasn't really good with my family because I was young and like we didn't understand each other, those things. And whatever I said, it's just always out the window. Like it doesn't matter. It wasn't being taken seriously. It was always being called nonsense or waste of time or things like that. And I learned to stop communicate. I learned to stop talking. I barely talk. I mean, I talk, but I don't ramble. I don't complain. I don't, you know, it's always in here. I always think about it. So growing up with that no, growing up with the mindset that I couldn't say what was meaningful. I like whatever I said is just going to mean nothing. It doesn't matter what I say. With that kind of mindset, learning to become a content creator and have a business around and have a business around this type of expression was not like was an interesting road actually. Imagine a kid who doesn't get validated in her expression. How could I become a content creator? How could I do anything by using speaking as an expression? How to do it? How could I trust what's in here? How could I trust that what I'm saying is good? That's when I learned to trust myself more. There was a time that I don't believe anything that was in here. Sometimes they were ideas, sometimes they were thoughts, sometimes they were just so many things, noises, right? But how would I know? I didn't know what to listen to. I didn't know what to respond to. I didn't know if, you know. So I learned to listen. I learned to trust myself. In the beginning of in the beginning of this, I learned to trust everything that was in here. I said everything, I write everything. And then the more I do that, the more I know that, oh, this is not it. This is not valuable. This is just noises. This is not like, this isn't something good. And I practice, expressing. I started to record my own voice when I think about something, when I have something up here and I wanted to express it. I decided to say it out loud, and sometimes even say it out loud. I would doubt myself whether I should say that, or maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe, like I was so hesitated. I didn't have the confidence or the trust in myself at all because I grew up having none of those. But I kept on practicing. I kept on practicing because I don't know why. This is a strange feeling. I don't know why expressing by speaking, by voice, is something that so aligned with me. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels so aligned. It feels like this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where everything starts. Whatever it is, you know, this is where it started. This is where it started. And I didn't understand. It was funny because I was I was a high school kid who was who was shaking all the time when she had to present something in front of the class or talk about something or even simply read something in front of the class. I would be shaking, and I didn't like it. You know, I didn't like talking about things. I didn't like being center of attention. I didn't like expressing anything. But somehow I wanted to become a content creator so bad. I want to build a business around expressing by voice so bad. So bad that I practiced many things, not many things actually, but like I started to do something, you know, to gain confidence in expressing, in talking, in speaking. But here's the thing about me. Maybe I'm only good at this because I'm doing this alone, you know? I'm expressing this alone, I'm talking this alone. But when I was in socials, you know, among people or group surroundings or not surrounding groups gathering, I would show simple manners to everybody, say hi to everybody, right? Having small conversations. But to really have a conversation, it was very difficult for me. I found out later that I did not like surface conversation at all. But I learned to do it at that time because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to become the part of whatever that was. But when I started to work on my practice, when I started to work on my confidence in expressing, I noticed that I don't like to talk about something on a surface level. If you watch all of the videos on my channel, you would see that none of my topics are surface level. None of them. Not because I choose to do this, but because this is the only thing that interests me, that excites me. I want to talk about this, you know. But to be able to talk about this with someone, it's not always the case, you know. Not everybody could be on the same depth, on the same level of depth that I am. I'm not saying that no one has the same interest. I'm just saying that people in my environment, you know, in my surroundings at the time were not, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just felt like, what am I gonna do then? And I don't know. I don't like talking to other people on surface level. To find someone who can talk on the same depth as me wasn't easy. So what else am I gonna do? And that's when I wanted to do this, not only to express, but I don't know. I like hearing my own voice. I like hearing my own voice. That is so strange. And I'm not shaking. But we would never know if I step on the stage one day talking about things that I already talk about on my channel. I would probably be shaking anyway. It's the nerve, you know, it's just the nervous, the anxiety feeling. So it wasn't an easy path, but it's the path that I'm willing to take. I'm willing to put into work. I'm willing to I'm willing to practice. I'm willing to read more to get different perspective, to see different perspective. I'm willing to isolate myself from everyone, you know, so I can hear my true voice, so I can understand my own expression. And now I do, and I feel looking back at that girl in high school, I feel like she came so far. I am very proud of her because imagine, I am very proud of her.